Hey everyone, welcome to Homeschool ICSE, and we have started with the chapter periodic table, periodic properties and its variations, isn't it? So in my previous video, I covered everything about the shells, valency, the features of modern periodic table and various things. If you have not yet watched, the links are provided in the description. You can just go and watch them. And in today's video, I have come up with certain periodic properties. So before we go for periodic properties, let us understand the meaning of the word periodicity. Okay, so what do you mean by periodicity and periodic properties? So this is really a very important word to understand. Okay, so here periodicity is nothing but, okay, it's a property, any property, if it gets repeated after certain intervals, if it gets repeated after certain atomic numbers. Okay, say for example, say you have 18 groups and 7 periods in a periodic table, isn't it? Say here comes the element, imagine here comes lithium, right? So you know what, after certain elements, say after lithium is your element beryllium, after that boron comes, carbon comes, nitrogen comes, oxygen, fluorine, neon. So after neon again the element comes here, that is sodium. Right? See, lithium and sodium have same properties, they somehow behave in a similar way. Okay, so they have same properties in the sense what, they do react in a similar way. Clear? So when did this sodium come? You know, after certain elements, after certain atomic number. Atomic number of lithium is 3, atomic number of sodium is 11. That means after certain interval, after a gap of certain atomic numbers, again the element has come which is showing similarity with the above element. Okay, so this is what we mean by periodicity. Okay, so how do we define periodicity? It is the property, it is the property that gets repeated, after certain atomic numbers, after certain atomic numbers. Okay, so or the property that gets repeated at intervals, after some intervals, right? So in the sense after certain gap. So that's what we mean by periodic properties. Okay, so this is what the definition for periodic properties. And now, what may be the reason? What is the reason for periodicity, or what is the cause for this periodicity? So why do you observe the same property being repeated after certain gaps? It's because, all of them have same number of electrons in the outermost shell. Okay, so in short, I can say that it's because they have, okay, they in the sense what, the elements have similar outermost electronic configuration, EC means electronic configuration. That means, say they have same number of electrons in last shell. Okay, see, the electrons which are present in the last shell are always a magic, guys. Okay, it's because of them the elements participate in chemical reaction. So it is those electrons which are present in the last shell participate in chemical reaction. So whichever the elements that have same number of valence electrons, they all behave in a similar way, right? So that's why we say the elements placed in a same group will always have same properties. It's because they all have same number of valence electrons. So in all these elements, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, in all these elements, you will have one electron in the last shell. So that's why when they participate in chemical reaction, they lose that one electron. That's how they gain a stability. By losing one electron, they attain stability. Is that clear? So that's the reason all of them have same properties. So it is the property that's being repeated, right? So every now and then after certain gaps. So that's what we mean by periodic properties. So what kind of properties that gets repeated at certain intervals? They are as follows. Okay, so now I will list out different important periodic properties. So in a chapter, we are going to study all the different periodic properties in detail. Okay, clear? So the first property, which is very, very important, looking at this particular property, you can actually decide whether the element reacts in what way. Okay, whether it can able to form covalent bond or it can able to form ionic bond, how it can react, what type of chemical reaction does it show, all that can be decided by this very first property. Okay, that is nothing but atomic size. So which is really a very, very important property of elements, that is atomic size. Okay, and the second one is we discuss about metallic character. Metallic character. And the third property is about non-metallic character. We also discuss about non-metallic character. And the fourth one, which is really very important, is the ionization potential, or we can also say it as ionization enthalpy. Okay, and then fifth one is electron affinity. Electron affinity, which is also called with the name electron gain enthalpy. Okay, all that we discuss when we deeply study about this topic. And the next one is electronegativity. Electronegativity, and we also discuss about the chemical reactivity. Even the chemical reactivity is also one of the periodic property. That means it is this particular thing that can get repeated after certain gaps, after certain atomic numbers or intervals in the periodic table. Okay, so in this class we will also discuss everything about atomic size. So what actually we mean by atomic size, and what will happen for this atomic size when you go from left to right in the periodic table, and what will happen for this atomic size when you go from top to bottom. Okay, and on what factors this atomic size depends on, all that we will discuss now. So guys, what actually we mean by atomic size? It's very simple. Try to understand carefully. It is the distance between center of the nucleus and last shell. Okay, it is the distance between center of the nucleus and the last shell, right? Say if you think that atom is spherical, nucleus will exactly at the center, right? And imagine if this is your last shell. Okay, so atom will have many shells. Inside a shell, electron revolves. Okay, so imagine if this is your last shell, right? Okay, this is shell number 1, this is shell number 2, and this is shell number 3. Say it is this distance from center of the nucleus to last shell. So this distance is what we call atomic size. Okay, but can you be able to find out this distance practically? It's not possible. You know what? Single atom to extract itself is very, very difficult. You know what? Say this particular chalk piece. If I want to talk about the atomic size of this particular chalk piece, this chalk piece contains crores and crores of atoms. If you want to find out the atomic size, you have to extract one single atom from this, right? So extracting a single atom itself is practically impossible. Then how will you find out the distance between the center of the nucleus and the last shell? Practically it is highly impossible. Okay, so how we can find out this distance is, we have another method. Okay, we can able to find that from ionic bond or covalent bond, right? See, in here one atom gets connected to another atom by some kind of bonding. So by taking that bonding into consideration, we can able to find this particular distance, right? So just look at this definition that I write now. Half of the internuclear distance between the bonded atoms in a molecule. Okay, so this distance is what we call atomic size, practically speaking. Say single atom to extract and then finding out this distance is practically not possible. So what we do is we go for bonds. Say this is one atom. Okay, so this is made a bond with another atom, and the bond is covalent bond. Okay, so covalent bond is always formed by overlapping of two atoms. So this is one atom, this is another atom, both of them are there in bonding. Okay, it can be covalent bond, metallic bond, or whatever it is. This is actually a type of a bond called covalent bond. Okay, and this distance, okay, the distance between the two nuclei, this distance is what we call internuclear distance. Okay, so the distance between the two nuclei is called internuclear distance. And if you make it half, okay, so if you make it half, then this distance can be exactly equal to or nearly equal to the distance between the nucleus and the last shell. Okay, so when you do half of internuclear distance, and you know what, to find the internuclear distance we have sophisticated instruments. We can easily find the internuclear distance, right? So when you know the internuclear distance, exactly make it half, then that distance is nearly equal to, it cannot be almost equal to this distance, but it is nearly equal to the center of the nucleus and the last shell. Okay, so that is what, this is how we will find out the atomic size in case of atoms. Okay, it is by chemical bonds. So that's why atomic size can also be defined this way, that it is, atomic size is half of the internuclear distance between the bonded atoms in a molecule. Okay, so the distance between the two nuclei is called internuclear distance. This is a bond, okay, formed either by covalent attractions or ionic attractions. Okay, so exactly when you take half of this distance, then it can be nearly equal to this distance, and that's what we mean by atomic size, right? So this is the concept of atomic size actually. Clear? Okay, so now we will go for studying factors affecting atomic size. So what are the factors that affect atomic size, or in other words, on what factors our atomic size depends on, right? So there are two factors which are very, very important. Factor number one is, atomic size depends on number of shells. And the second one is atomic size also depends on nuclear charge. Clear? And let us clearly study how our atomic size depends on number of shells. See here, if you take up the elements present in first group, say first group elements, let me list it out, hydrogen, lithium, right, and then sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. So can you tell me how many shells you have in hydrogen? So hydrogen has only one shell. Coming to the lithium, lithium has 2 shells. Sodium has 3 shells, isn't it? Potassium has 4 shells. Third shell, and this is fourth shell. And our atomic size is the distance between the nucleus and the last shell. So this much is the atomic size of hydrogen. And you see this is the nucleus and this is the last shell. So this is this much is the size of lithium. Okay, and you see here and here. So what's happening here? As the shells increases in a particular atom, the size of an atom also increases, because our atomic size is nothing but the distance between the nucleus and the last shell. So as the number of shells increases, it's obvious that it's very common that the size of atom also increases. So that's the reason, you know what, lithium is bigger. Lithium's atom size is bigger than hydrogen, and sodium atom is quite bigger than lithium. Potassium atom is much more bigger than sodium. Like that, size always increases when you go from top to bottom. Okay, so what is the point I can write here? As number of shells increases, as number of shells increases, atomic size increases. Atomic size also increases. So this is really a very important point. As this increases, atomic size also increases. Fine. And now let me talk about the nuclear charge. So what do you mean by nuclear charge? Total positive charge that is present in the atom. Okay, so where are the positive charges present inside the atom? It's always inside the nucleus. Say in the shells, electrons will revolve. Okay, and if this is your nucleus, and inside the nucleus you have positive charges. Okay, so nucleus is positively charged. So the total positive charge of a nucleus is called as nuclear charge. Okay, so this positive charge always depends on number of protons. Number of protons. So which particles are present inside the nucleus? It is protons. They carry positive charge. As the proton number increases, positive charge on the nucleus increases. Okay, so if the positive charge increases, then a nice attraction you will find between electrons and the nucleus. Nice attraction you will find between electrons and the nucleus. When you have strong attraction between electrons and the nucleus, you know what? The outermost shell may move little near to the nucleus. Little near to the nucleus. Then automatically size will decrease. Okay, say for example, okay, let me show it here. If this is the atom, okay, so here you have 6 protons. Okay, 6 protons are there, and you know you have 2 shells here, right? So these are the first shell, second shell, and the third shell. Okay, sorry, this is a nucleus, right? Okay, this is the first shell and this is the second shell. Second shell has some electrons, right? And you know what? Another atom I'll take. Here the nucleus has 7 electrons, and you know it also has 2 shells where the outermost shell has some electrons. Okay, and you know the positive charge of a nucleus is more here, right? Since more positive charge is there, these electrons will experience more attraction. These electrons will experience more attraction. Since they are more attracted towards the nucleus, the entire shell will move near to the nucleus. See, the shell is coming near to the nucleus. Then definitely the distance between the nucleus and outermost shell gradually decreases, right? Since more positive charge is there in a nucleus, you know these electrons will feel more attraction from the nucleus. Okay, the nucleus will pull the electrons towards itself. So electrons are being pulled towards nucleus means what? The entire shell also being pulled towards nucleus. So automatically this distance decreases. Okay, so what I meant to tell you is, as the nuclear charge increases, atomic size always decreases. Okay, so what is nuclear charge initially? It is the positive charge. It is the positive charge of nucleus is called nuclear charge. Okay, so what I'll write is, as nuclear charge increases, as nuclear charge increases, atomic size always decreases. Okay, so this is really a very important concept, right? So as the number of protons increases in a nucleus, the nucleus becomes so strong, so much positive charge, it will attract outermost shell towards itself. Okay, so when outermost shell is attracted towards the nucleus, gradually, automatically, what you will observe? The decrease in the size of an atom, right? So this is all about the factors affecting atomic size. So our atomic size depends on two factors. One is number of shells, the other one is nuclear charge. So how does it depend on number of shells? As number of shells increases, atomic size increases. And here, as the nuclear charge, that is, as the number of protons increases, the atomic size may decrease. Clear? So now let us understand how our atomic size varies when you go from left to right in a periodic table and top to bottom in a periodic table. That's what we call a variation of atomic size, across a period and down the group. See guys, how does our atomic size varies down the group when you go from top to bottom? Okay, say for example, you have lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. I have already discussed, as the number of shells increases, atomic size always increases, right? Say, since I have already explained this point, let me write this way: atomic size increases down the group. Okay, so down the group in the sense when you go from top to bottom. Okay, so why? It is because what will happen? Number of shells increases. Okay, so even the nuclear charge also will increase. You have studied that as the nuclear charge increases, our atomic size decreases, right? Say, atomic number of lithium is 3, atomic number of sodium is 11, potassium is 19. That means here you have 3 protons, here you have 11 protons, here you have 19 protons. So you would think that as the protons increases, nuclear charge increases. If nuclear charge increases, atomic size must decrease. But why am I telling that atomic size is increasing? It's because the number of shells are dominating. Okay, say, lithium has only 2 shells, right? Sodium has 3 shells. Potassium has 4 shells, right? So outermost shell is somewhere very far, so that this electron, it's present in the outermost shell, is not getting much attraction from the nucleus, right? So automatically this distance, the outermost shell is placed somewhere very far, that is dominating over nuclear charge. Though the nuclear charge is increasing from top to bottom, atomic size will increase, is because the actual distance between the nucleus and the last shell is increasing more and more. Okay, so that's the reason here, as the number of shells increases, our atomic size will always increase, right? Okay, so now we will discuss across a period. Across a period in the sense what? When you go from left to right in a period, right? Say, let me take an example of second period elements. So which all elements come under second period? It's lithium, right? And then comes beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon, right? Okay, let me take till fluorine. Okay, so lithium, this is the nucleus of lithium, and nucleus has two shells, right? And this is the nucleus of beryllium. Beryllium also has two shells. See, the period number represents the number of shells, right? So in all second period elements, you have only two shells. You have only two shells. So this is the nucleus, and carbon also has two shells. This is the nucleus of nitrogen. Nitrogen also has two shells, right? And what is the atomic number of lithium? Atomic number is 3. Here atomic number is 4. Atomic number 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on. So as the atomic number increases, since atomic number is equal to number of protons, the positive charge increases, right? Positive charge is increasing. Electrons are present in a same shell. Positive charge is increasing. So what would happen when nuclear charge increases? Positive charge in the sense what? Nuclear charge increases. So as nuclear charge increases, you know what? The outermost shell, if you come to nitrogen, the outermost shell is pulled near to the nucleus. So automatically this distance decreases. Okay, so when outermost electrons are getting lot of attraction from nucleus, the entire outermost shell is being pulled towards the nucleus. Automatically the distance between the nucleus and the last shell decreases. Okay, so what I can write here? So the point that I can write here is, let me write it here, across a period, that is from left to right. When you go from left to right in a periodic table, atomic size decreases. Atomic size decreases because nuclear charge increases. Nuclear charge increases, right? So here also nuclear charge was increased, but number of shells were increasing. The distance between the outermost shell and nucleus was increased. That predominated more than nuclear charge. But here, the last electrons are present in the same shell. So here every element has the outermost shell as the second shell, right? So definitely here the nuclear charge is more predominative. So as nuclear charge increases, what will happen? The outermost shell is being pulled towards the nucleus. So that leads to the decrease of atomic size. That is, the distance between the nucleus and the last shell will be decreased compared to the original, than expected, right? So that is all about, the trends in atomic size. So this is really a very important concept. You must know what will happen for atomic size when you go from top to bottom in a group, and what will happen for atomic size when you go from left to right in a period. Okay, so from left to right, atomic size will always decrease, and from top to bottom, atomic size will always increase. Okay, so that's all about atomic size. Okay, hope the concept has become very much clear for you. If you have any doubts, you can post in the comments. We will try to give the answer. And then you can post the opinion about the video also. And in my next video, I will come up with metallic character. The metallic character is much related to atomic size. Once you are okay with the concept of atomic size, every other property you can relate to this atomic size and you can study. Okay, so let me explain about the metallic character in the next coming video. Thank you so much. Do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in an easiest way and in a detailed way. Thank you. We'll meet in a next video.